Hey YouTube, I'm Stewart with Stewart Media Digital. I am here today to give you my hot take on what's going on in the mirrorless world. So like a lot of people, I started out as a Canon shooter and I switched to Sony, but with the announcement / rumors of the new Canon R5 or RS or whatever it's going to end up being called, I am actually thinking about switching back. Canon's putting out a lot of really impressive stuff, and I think they might secretly be winning the mirrorless game. So let's jump into why I think that. So jumping right in, the rumored specs on the Canon R5 are pretty impressive. 30 megapixel sensor, they're talking about 8K in camera, 4K 120 video, internal IBIS, in-body image stabilization, just a lot of really impressive specs. And with the 1DX Mark III, everything that they jammed into that camera really makes me think that this is pretty credible. I think Canon is really ready to up their mirrorless game. Next, I think Canon is definitely winning in lenses. They did something really smart by making the lens mount bigger, so they could have wider aperture lenses and smaller lenses, especially with that reduced flange distance, which is the distance from the back glass element of the lens to the sensor. So they're making smaller lenses, like the RF 70-200 is significantly smaller than the older EF mount version. And they've got some really cool stuff like the 28-70 f2. That is an expensive big piece of glass, but an f2 medium zoom lens is pretty impressive. And they've got a whole lineup of patents, lenses that aren't out yet, but they've patented a 135 1.4. That thing is gonna blow us away with its bokeh quality, and if it's anything like the EF 135 f2, it's gonna be sharp as hell. Canon is really putting out and planning to put out some impressive glass. And only they can do it because they made that lens mount wider. Now next, if you think about it, the Canon EOS R was a pretty good camera. People started using it professionally right away, whereas the original Sony mirrorless cameras, like the original A7 and even the A7 II, professionals weren't using those. It really wasn't until maybe the A7R2 and then the 3-4 versions of these cameras came out that they really started being used professionally. So Canon is in their like first, second generations, and they've already got people using them professionally. Sony put in a ton of legwork, putting out cameras that really were not ready to be used professionally. So over here, Canon's like sitting back being like, we're just gonna let Sony do all the hard work, figure out the market, figure out all this stuff for us, and we're gonna wait a few years, and yeah, we may lose a little bit of the market share, but we're gonna jump back with these killer products that are gonna win these people back. That's just my opinion. I have no proof that is what Canon was intending to do, but it really seems like that was their strategy all along. All right, so again, this is all just my opinion, my thoughts on what's going on. I could be totally wrong, only time will tell, but yeah, I think Canon is really putting out some interesting stuff, so I think it was worth thinking about, worth looking into. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please be sure to like and subscribe. I do gear reviews and I do tips and tricks to improve your photography and videography every week. So subscribe so you don't miss that. All right, thanks.